Hello guys, in this video we're going to create a simple service to track the activity on some sites that I'm hosting. So let me just quickly demonstrate you how the end result is supposed to look like, just to make it clear what is this video actually is going to be dedicated to. So if I just navigate to one of my sites that I'm running at Heroku, and just go to some sort of URL endpoints and maybe then go back and go to another one and another. What was actually available at Scraping Info site is the statistics was embedded into the site itself, but it's not really the best ever way of doing things. So the better way is just to add this little script. It looks like Google Analytics at some point. Of course, it's far worse compared to Google Analytics, but the idea is still the same. So here we're making a request to the API endpoint of the CMK Analytics application. So if I just update my analytics app here, that will see the history of navigating the Scraping Info website has been tracked over here. So I did go to the Heroku Scraping Info, then Chambers, Chamber 1, then again Chambers, Chamber 5, etc. Then the contact, and then the dashboard, and also at this point this information is simply duplicated. But if I just go to the property UK site that I also run at Heroku, this one doesn't have any analytics inside. It has only, even though it uses absolutely the same Datatables Jquery plugin, but still it's completely different app. And if I just update my analytics app here, we see that the visit of Jquery State Evaluation site was actually tracked as well. So that's kind of purpose. And even if I would invoke my very old site called CodeMonkeyKin, which was my Node.js and Express framework experience, even in this case, we can still see that the CodeMonkeyKin.Heroku app was visited here. And now just to calculate the number of views, I just can type the number of URL. Here's a CodeMonkeyKin, and I see that CodeMonkeyKin has been visited only once. And if I just want to wonder how many times the property UK was visited, that I see that it was visited twice. And if I just want to ask regarding Scraping Info, then we have exactly 13 views here. So this is kind of it. So in this video we're gonna create the app like this one deployed at Heroku already, which I've been developing for the last couple of days. And today I just want to share the experience of how to create this sort of app. So if you're interested, let's actually start writing some code. So we'll need to create to reference the local host we would supposed to run our local server. So let's actually start writing some code. So first we need to import Flask. So I say from Flask import Flask and creating an app instance. So I say app equals Flask name like this, and let's create a route for the very root of our application. Return for now. Let's return this single string here, and also provide an app driver. So say if name equals to main. In this case, we want to say app.run. So just run the application and enable the debug mode by debug equals true, and also enable multi-threaded mode while threaded equals to true. And also I need to start the server by typing Python 3 app.py, and the server is active. And let's check our localhost by 5000. So by default, Flask is hosting its application at the port number 5000. So here we have the very root route. And the app I've been demonstrating at the very beginning of this video actually uses a Mongo database hook, but for the simplicity, I'll be storing all the incoming requests as simply as the CSV file. So just bearing that in mind. And now what I actually need to do here, we need to create a couple more routes. So I say app route. The first would be called API get, and def get like this. Let's return it as string for now. And the second one would be for posting data, so it would be called API post. Let's actually turn here post as well. And let's quickly check these routes out, whether they work or not. So I say API get. Okay, it can't be reached. Override an existing endpoint. Okay, of course. Post. So here we have the get and the post. But for the post, we don't really need to use the get request. Instead, we need to use the post request here. So I would say simply method equals post like this. And at this moment, we won't be available to reference this particular endpoint by browser. So that's because, okay. Not because of this bug. I'm sorry. Maybe methods. Not sure. Yeah, of course. And that's called methods. Okay. Method is not allowed. This is the exact error I'm supposed to see here. That's because the browser by default sends the get request instead of post request. So we will be making post requests using the custom Jquery powered post request. And let me just quickly find the CDN for Jquery. Okay, so here is the template HTML that includes both Jquery and Bootstrap and even Datatables. Well, we won't need those for our testing post requester, but still we can use that. But still we can use that. Okay, so well, maybe I just create this test HTML file on desktop. So just open this with the text editor and paste all the stuff here. So we don't need basically anything except Jquery here. So Jquery is absolutely enough for our purposes. And well, let's define the script. Type equals text JavaScript, and close the script tag. Okay, and now we want to make a simple Jquery post request. So I say invoke the Jquery by typing this $sign function name and then post, and here we need to specify the URL. So the URL in our case would be this one. So post like this. We would add some form data just a bit later on, but for now it seems to be enough using only post request itself. but at this particular moment it should give some sort of an error code cross origin reference blocked or something like that. It's called course, if I'm not mistaken. So let me just quickly check that out. So looking the developer tools, yeah, exactly. So and the reason for why this happens is because access control allow origin header is not present on the request resource. So now our task is actually to add this access control allow origin header. So let's actually copy the name of this header here. Just copy here. And then get back to our Flask application. So now we need to import, say from Flask, import response, and here create the response object equals to response, and here well, actually post request doesn't really need to return anything here, so we can leave this just empty. And now we need to specify response headers, and this time we actually add our header. It's actually the Python dictionary, if I'm not mistaken. So the square brackets here, it's not a function, sure, equals to, well, this little star means that like allow any origin. So, and also we need to return response now. So at this moment we did allow cross origin request. Well, at least I hope so. So let's try to test this one more time. Okay, now this is great. Also, I need to import a request object here, so to be able just of getting the user agent. So I say from Flask import request. Okay, and here actually it's time to create a variable called stats, which would be a type of Python dictionary, and we'll be printing this stats. And here let's create an agent key, which would be equal to request get headers dot get user agent. Let's just quickly check this out. So if I just update the page, okay, and okay, so here we have the user agent, the exact one that we can see here. If we just check this post request and request headers user agent, and this is my browser actually, so this works perfectly well, which is really good. And also I would like to provide a couple more things here. So the first one would be the date. So here in the test I want to pass the form data of a key called date, and this would be the new date like this, and also the URL which would be equal to okay, let me just quickly check that out. Okay, which equals to window location reference like this. And here we want also to get our date, which would be at this moment equals to request.form. If this would be if this was a get request, I would say request.args, but as far as the request method to this particular URL is the type of post, that's the reason for using request.form instead request.args. So request.form get and the name of the key date like this, and also the URL just exactly the same basically. So URL. So I hope to see the date and the URL here at the moment. So okay, invalid syntax. Okay, let me quickly check that out as well. So something wrong with my Python code here. Okay. Of course, I just forgot to put this commas here. So yeah, now this should work. I hope. Okay. And let's update the test one more time. Okay, so now we have the user agent and then the date, which is just right now. Okay, and the URL home maxim desktop test HTML. So this URL. So whatever we find ourselves, this URL will be passed as the URL parameter. Okay, so we need one more thing basically here. So the last one thing we would like to see here is actually the IP. In case if you're supposed to deploy this app at Heroku, it might have involved some trick of instead of using request dot remote address like this, one might have used the x forwarded x request forward header or something like that. So for those cases, if your app is running behind the proxy, but this is the most kind of casual case when you just simply can use this remote address. As far as we're not supposed to deploy this particular application at Heroku, I would leave IP just hard-coded to request remote address. So let's and here we're supposed to see my local host like 127.0.0.1. So let's quickly check that out as well. So okay, here is the IP that we have. Okay, so that was basically one of the issues I've been challenging. One of challenging issues I've been struggling with while deploying my analytics app at Heroku. So I didn't really know how to get the real IP address. So I was getting the IP address of internal Heroku proxy net, and that was really weird. So that was pretty useless. Okay, so okay, maybe just let me show you how this is done, how I did this in my original application. So just go to analytics here. So the way I did handle that IP is this. So let me just probably bring this in. So we're looking for x forwarded for a list of headers, and if this list is available, we're taking the very first element of this and store it as stats IP, and in all the other cases. So if there is no x forwarded for, so if it's not behind the proxy, if your app is not running behind the proxy, then we can simply use remote address. So okay, I would probably leave this version for that case if you would like to deploy this sort of application at your own Heroku. So let me just check this one more time again, and I need to see I'm supposed to see absolutely the same IP address, because this app is not behind the proxy, it's just running just running straightforward without any proxies. Okay, so what next? Now actually we did collect all the needed information here. Well, we could have also collect the information regarding the origin. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to do this. Well, I can simply grab this piece of code as well. So I usually don't really like grabbing the code in these tutorial videos, but in this case, this might have been the case. So let's quickly check this out again. And now we here the origin is null, because our test is not running. I mean, this test, it's just a plain HTML file on the desktop. It's not been provided by any hosting, so it's not even a static. It's not even considered to be a static file. Well, it is static by its nature, but it's not returned by the server. So that's the case why the origin is null. And as far as if we just run this, if this would be returned from like template renderer in Flask or something like that, in that case the origin would be the same as not the same as IP. Just okay, let me just quickly demonstrate you that. So if we go to CMK Analytics here, so the origins here, so okay, let's see this one. So while the URL is dashboard, the origin is still scrapingconfig.herokuapp.com. So that's the name of the server where the file is actually being hosted. So that's regarding the origin. You don't really need that much basically, but no, I've just included that just in order to show you how it works basically. So okay, we don't need this anymore, and let's get back to the get method. Okay, and now it's time actually to start storing our data. So I would instead of connecting Mongo database, I'll be simply writing this test to a file. So for that case, I need to import the CSV module. So I say import CSV like this, and here I say with open, let's call this data.csv, or maybe call this even better api.csv, and we want to append to this file every time the post request is invoked as CSV file. And now we need to create a Dict Writer, which is a dictionary writer, because we're dealing with a Python dictionary type of data. So I say writer equals csv.dictWriter, and we use the CSV file here as a file stream. And also here we need to specify the field names, even if we won't be printing those field names. We don't actually really need them at this moment, but still we need to specify the field names to make actual Dict Writer work correctly. So here we just say stats.keys like this, and now we simply need to say write row and stats like this. And this time, as far as I invoke our test script, I'm supposed to see this api.csv. Now within our get request, let's actually try to see what particular information do we have in that file. So how is that request being stored? So I also need to import JSONify from Flask. Import JSONify to pre-bring the JSON response to the URL to the get API/get endpoint. So here I need to open this file that was just created. So I say with open api.csv, as we want to read the file stream as CSV file, and now we need to create a reader equals CSV, and exactly the same, we want the dictionary reader actually. So I say dict reader, and this time only providing the CSV file stream is enough here. So, and also we need to create let's call this data list, and we need to loop for, let's just make for one in, let's make for entry in reader. We need to append what we get there to our data. So data dot append and entry here. As far as this is not a database, it doesn't have any ID, which might be not really that great, so we won't actually be able to order things. Well, actually we can add some sort of a counter for that reason. Okay, let me just okay, and just to see the output on the screen, we need to return JSONify and data. And also I want to say, I want to create a data key like this. So data like this. Okay, and I hold my breath and I hope to see some sort of output here. Okay, nothing at the moment. Not sure why exactly. Okay, let me just quickly check that out. Okay, it seems I found the bug, so the file wasn't actually written here because I forgot to call keys as the function, the method call here. So I hope now this would work actually. So let me just try to make this one more time. Okay, now the post request seems to return to 100 status code, which is okay. And let's actually find out whether the data, okay, but for some reason data is still not showing. Okay, status code. Okay guys, hold on a sec. Okay, it's just needed to update the page, and that's it. So now as far as we updating our test request, so let's make this a couple of times, emulating the tracking of website activity here, and then we go to our get, and basically here we have all the requests being stored in the JSON format. So this is the exact behavior that we're supposed to have here. But one little feature that would actually be needed, which needs to be added here, is enter some sort of a counter. So we would be able to order this data by some sort of I don't know, by some sort of a parameter. Well, basically we could have probably sorted this by date, but as far as date is a string, it might not be that easy actually. So let's, but okay, so let me think. Basically, I don't know. Okay, so I will try to sort this table, sort this data using sort this by the date, and if Datatables, Jquery Datatables plugin would allow me doing that, that's just fine. If not, I will add a counter for some sort of ID or something. But in the case when I was using this with the Mongo database automatically adds the ID identifier here, so you can simply order your data by the date in that case, by the ID in that case. Okay, so now let's create a simple user interface, just like in the app I've been demonstrated at the very beginning of this video. So here, so to make an HTML view here, we need to import render template function. So I'll say from Flask import render template. Okay, and also we need to create a new folder called templates. So templates like this, and here I'll create a file called stats.html. Okay, and let's actually open this file. So stats. Now let's quickly check that out if this template is connected or not. So I say render template stats.html and update. Okay, so it seems to be that it is connected. So this stats already comes from the HTML file. Now it's not a plain string. Well, it's plain string, but it's not just the plain response. So okay, now I'll make use of this boilerplate for jQuery, Bootstrap, and Datatables, which I use in many of my projects, basically. So, okay, we don't need the instigator library. Okay, we also don't need the 5 icon at the moment. We probably don't really need Bootstrap as well, but okay, that's just fine. So let's actually create some simple layout here, and I say div class equals to container, div class equals to row. That's the standard Bootstrap related stuff to follow, so nothing new here. So div class equals to call, and now let's create a card. So I say div class equals card, and also the card here to draw the border of the card. So I say div class equals card body, and we actually want our card to be a little bit okay. Let's actually see what we got here before proceeding ever. So okay, here we can get our stats. So now I actually want to bring this card a little bit lower, so I just add the margin top 4 like this. Okay, now it's a little bit down, okay, in a better place. Okay, so, and the very last but not least thing is to add the table itself. So to be able to connect the data tables with the AJAX request to fetch our data. So I say table class equals, we need a bunch of classes here. So display table, no wrap is used to print the table with that cute well, no wrap is needed to, or actually not wrap in the text. Well, so to avoid a multi-lines in the multi-line text representation in the table. And also I import the responsive, which is Datatables means CSS class, to draw that nice cute green button at the left to display the data that is hidden, that is not actually match the width of the entire table. And okay, seems like this is it. Also I need to define the style width of 100% to fit the width of the table to the width of the current body. And this is, by the way, the standard Datatables plugin definition that you could find in their on their site in the documentation section there. So closing the table tag. Now we need to create table head, table header, and the table body will be created automatically. Okay. So yeah, tr table row to make the row of headers, and finally the headers themselves. So th is the table header. So how much of headers do we have there? So if I just quickly quickly check that out. So just duplicate, navigate to API/get. So we have, for now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. For some reason, okay, it has to be called date and origin, and okay, so something is wrong there a bit. Hold on a second, guys. Okay, guys, I'm sorry, just I have no idea why did I use the CSV format for this when we actually need the JSON format instead. So of course it returns absolutely the wrong keys here. I don't know. I don't know what was I thinking about actually. So of course we don't need instead of this CSV, we need to just delete this. So we need to use. We don't need even this CSV module here. We need just to import JSON instead, and in here, so with open, let's call this API JSON. I'm really sorry, I have no idea why did I actually use the CSV format. So JSON, we don't need any writers here, and we can simply say JSON file write, and here we convert the dictionary object to the string basically. So I say JSON dumps and stats and indent equals to 2, just to add the indentation equals to 2 spaces to pre-print the JSON response. Okay, so just save this, and also here we need to read API JSON at this time as JSON file, and don't need any reader as well here for entry in JSON file. Data would be the type of string at this moment. So for maybe let's call this full line in JSON file. So data plus equals line like this. Well, I hold my breath and try to check this out one more time. So first here supposed to see nothing. Okay, no file API.json, that's fine because there is no that file at the moment. Okay, let's invoke the test again. Okay, post request succeeded. Okay. Okay. Something wrong with the formatting still, so okay. So here we need to use JSON.loads and the data. Now this should have looked like just fine. Okay. So agent date IP origin URL. Okay, I'm really sorry guys for this inconvenience. I have no idea why did you use the CSV format. Of course, we're dealing with JSON data here, so I'm just sorry for that. So just invoke this test script a couple more times. Then here at the get. Oh my god, what's going on here? So he can't. I have no idea what's actually wrong. Let me check that out quickly. Okay, so that happened because I did forgot to append the comma to the end of every file. So that's the reason why. And also, yeah, I also need to append. So let me just show you how it should have looked like. So it should have looked like this at the very end, like this, and here just to see the commas. So let's actually delete this API JSON, and let's try to implement that. Okay, you know, like probably it would have been easy. It would have been easier to hook the Mongo database instead of dealing with this JSON static JSON files. But still, this is even more interesting at some point. Okay, so we need to append. Okay, probably. Yeah, I need to think a bit about this. Okay, we can try one little trick here. So let's actually try to append comma at the very end. So JSON dumps plus comma like this. So delete, yes, and I didn't ever think that I would encounter this sort of issues while recording this video. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Okay, so now we get our commas, and let's try to enclose this stuff to the square brackets. So when we opening this file, so data should have started with this symbol, and the very last symbol, data -1. So this very last symbol is actually a comma, and we need to replace it with a square bracket. Well, this is really hacky, I understand, but well, if this works, I hope this would be just enough for our case. So let's okay, so API JSON remains the same. Let's try to get this one more time. Type string object doesn't support item assignment. Okay, so let's actually try to see. Let's see the pure data, how it looks first. Oh, come on. Okay, it doesn't like this stuff. So, so I did append this comma into the wrong place. No, I did. Okay, API JSON. Okay. Okay, guys. It seems I actually did really invent that really weird hack. So in Python, we can't. The string is immutable, so we can't really change it on the flow. We can only return a new string, but another way of doing things. So let's actually start our data with square bracket, and then we want here want to return data from the very first element to ignoring the very last element, -1, and plus square bracket. So hold my breath and try to run this. Okay, not exact. Okay, yes, this is exactly the same. Exactly what I need here. Okay, and now I will try to actually make JSON loads. So JSON loads, probably only this part. Okay, Okay, so just should have loads the entire set here like this. Okay, and if I just try to add a couple of more requests here, well, hope to see them all. Okay, guys, this is really hacky way of doing things. I highly don't recommend you following that way. This is just the solution I needed to use for this particular video. Of course, in case if you're using either MySQL or MongoDB, in that cases you won't really need to hack around with this weird stuff. So I'm really sorry for this dirty, quick and dirty solution here, but that's actually probably, well, as far as I've started following this way, I really needed to find some sort of solution here. Okay, so now it seems like the get the API/get works perfectly well, and we can use this data in our front-end user interface. So let's actually, so we don't need API JSON anymore. Okay, so now let's create our headers. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need exactly 5. Let's make them with the numbers for now, and just update this stuff. Okay, so we get our table here, and I'm not sure about the order. Well, maybe I can just use the order. I'm not sure about the order in my original app, so let's just reference that one. So why this so slow, man? Probably it's already slipping. Come on. Finally. Okay, URL, IP, date. So here I would say URL, IP, date, and hidden ones, origin and agent. Okay, so here we say origin and agent, which is a user agent. So great. Okay, and now let's actually invoke. Let's write a little script to connect our data tables here. So say script type text JavaScript script, and also, yes, I forgot to assign some sort of identificator here. So ID equals to, let's call this stats. So here I use the Jquery selector to select the element by ID like this. So I want to use stats and call the data table like this, and here I need to specify the Ajax. Hold on a sec. So URL, and the URL would be /API/get. Sorry guys, got a phone call. Sorry guys, I'm not at home today, and it's a complete disaster recording this video today because everything around it is distracting me. Oh my god. Okay, so let's actually test whether this Ajax request would fire or not. So, well, that's fine. So get. Okay, seems like it gets everything correctly. Okay, so now let's specify the column names. So columns, and this would be a list. I'm not sure if this would be a list. Yes, a list. And here specify the data and the corresponding name of, so agent, take this the corresponding key, and we also need to use this order that is represented in our header. So the first would be the URL. Okay. Then it would be IP, and then it would be date, origin, and agent. Okay, finally we got our response. Yeah, exactly as expected. So the only last thing left here is to wrap the user agent in a div with the text wrap class. So to avoid this weird content misplacement. So at this point we need to use, oh sorry, I'm really sorry guys, I don't really remember that by heart. So column depths, so column depths, what did I use this for? Okay, that one was used. Let me just grab this would be really faster. And now the target here would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, exactly the same. And here we just need to wrap this data. So we call it function here, the callback function. We return the data enclosed in the div class text wrap. So this should avoid that weird content misplacement. So at this point the user agent actually is displayed correctly. And the very last thing is actually what I actually want here, just to I want to try to order stuff by the date, and for that purpose I'll say order, and this would be a list, and the number the first element is the number of column that we're supposed to order the data by, so 0, 1, 2. So let's try to order it like this. I hope it works. So yeah, seems like it really works. So I could have actually order this data by date, even avoiding ordering by MongoDB related ID that I used in the app that was shown in the very beginning of this video. Well guys, so I believe this is it, and the very last thing to show is actually, well, as far as here we're using only this test file, so it's not really deployed at anywhere, and that's the reason why the data is always being the same. But again, if we just go back to the analytic, oh sorry, this is not what I'm supposed to see. If we just go back to this analytics, the deployed version of this application. Just as I was mentioning, we can actually filter by the URL, and in that case we'll get the exact number of, well, you can observe them as views, so 3 views of this particular URL. So this is it for this video. I'm really sorry for this was not that great of that great quality that I used to follow my videos, so I'm really sorry for that. I'm just not at home, really being distracted, and I feel a bit confused, to be honest. But still, I hope you've learned something interesting from this, and I hope you've found this useful. So until the next time, and take care.